Welcome back, everybody, to the Breakdown Podcast YouTube channel. My name's Corey, and in this video, Vic and I, he's in one of these corners.
Yep, that's me.
We're gonna be breaking down the episode 4 of The Masked Singer. So before we do get started, we do want to let you know we do our show live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. ish Eastern on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/MillerKing_51. You can find the link in the description down below. Come by and help us help join the chat. You know, be part of the show. We are currently talking DC's Titans as well as Marvel's What If, and starting next
episode of Marvel's What If.
That's right. Starting next week, we are going to be working in Doom Patrol Season 3. So be sure to get caught up on that show, join the chat, and have some fun with us. So, Vic, let's break this down.
All right. This week's episode of The Masked Singer started out with one of my favorite contestants, the Bull. And in this kind of clue package that they had for him, they had some interesting things going on. The background, there was a Dr. Scrubs again, which we had before, which Leslie Odom Jr. was the Scrubs guest that I had on prior seasons when they showed those Scrubs, and I was wrong. And that was brought up this week by one of the judges. Carnegie Hall was also featured. He said he was a wallflower. And then he went into this thing about how he supports and loves Britney Spears, and that's what this episode was all about for him. And I was like, here we go. There's a lot in that alone to me that is going to push my guess from Donald Glover, which also was brought up on today's episode that it could be Donald Glover.
It's not.
The split put me directly into Todrick Hall. I'm going with Todrick Hall. This is my guess. Right or wrong, I'm locking this one in. I think it's going to be Todrick Hall.
Okay, well, I have no idea who the hell that is.
Well, I keep trying to tell you, and maybe I'll show you a little clip of him in the actual video. So look forward to that.
My guess for this one, they mentioned Britney. I'm going Justin Timberlake. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not doing Justin Timberlake. I'm actually going something very random, but could kind of make a little sense if you watch Back to Dancing. I'm going with Cisco.
Okay.
I mean,
I can see Cisco.
They both hit popularity at around the same time in the 90s. Maybe through all of that, they met at VMAs and all those other award shows. Maybe they are friends. I don't know.
And he would have the moves. He does have the moves.
Mm-hmm. So. Exactly. I think this could be him. I don't think it's Donald Glover. It doesn't sound like him when he's singing. So I think that's totally wrong. I'm going with Cisco. I'm not locking it in. Obviously, okay. It's way too early.
Nope. I'll take the early lock. I will. I'm confident in this. So, but yeah, that's actually a really good guess. I hadn't thought of Cisco, though we have mentioned him before. Like it was not something that crossed my mind, but that's a pretty good guess. Following up, Bull was the Hamster. Hamster is definitely an older guy in general. I don't know how much older. He may be like in his late 40s like us or like me, I should say, as of today, because it's my birthday. Thank you.
Oh, yes. You know what? I was going to do this. This video is going to come out a couple days later, but everybody wish Vic a happy birthday by going to his Twitch and hitting the follow button.
And then leave a comment below. Happy birthday in the comments would be wonderful. So yeah, it says that he was in his 20s. He lived in a huge city, and he was working with all of his friends. And obviously, saying the word friends, everyone is going to put in somebody from Friends. They actually brought it up. I think that's a red herring. I think he probably was doing something with his friends, but I don't think it was that. I feel like it was something like the Jersey Shore thing, or maybe what's the MTV show that they did where all the people lived in, like where they all lived in the house.
Road Rules.
Road Rules are the one where they lived in the house. Whatever that one was. I think it would have been something like that, because it was always centered on a big city. It was always centered on a bunch of people who eventually became friends and that kind of thing. So I think it may have had something to do with that. I'm just not quite sure. There was a basset hound. One of the security guards was dressed up like a valet or a bellboy, which has got to be a solid clue, and I'm not sure how, because as I always say, you got to watch out for those security guards. They are big time clues. He got famous overnight. He was handed a royal scepter, and he said this. He said, it was phenomenal. So phenom, that's the key to take from there. So early 20s, worked with his friends, and was a phenom. I think that's the three things to lock in on. However, I still have no idea who this was. And since the theme was house party, they all brought a party favor. And his was a drinking hat, had 2 water bottles with hoses, like the beer hats of old. But now it's water bottles. I have no idea who this is. Like, I can't fathom who this could be.
Well, I have a couple of ideas just with the clues that you were giving.
Okay.
Now, I'm still going to stick with mine, but a couple other ideas I was just thinking about. You mentioned going to a big city and working with his friends.
Right.
Now, one person that did go to the big city and work with a bunch of his friends was Adam Sandler. So Adam Sandler. Now, I'm not saying this is who I think it is.
Big city and work.
He's friends. Got Schneider. He had Farley. He had Spade. He had all those guys there. Those were his friends at the time. But one of his friends and one of the one of the co-producers of all of Adam Sandler's movies was Alan Covert. Now, if you're saying who the hell is that?
Yeah, because I don't know who it is.
He played first in Happy Gilmore. He played the caddy with the beard.
Okay.
And if you remember, in one of those scenes, he had the helmet on that had the little things with the cups and the straws, and he was sitting out there on the golf course with it on. So there could be that little clue there, but I really don't think it's him. He was also in Grandma's Boy. He was the lead in Grandma's Boy, as well as the limo driver in Wedding Singer.
So are you saying it's Rob Schneider?
No. I said it could be Alan Covert.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think that's him. That was just one of my things that I was throwing around in my head when you were talking. But my guess for Hamster is Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
he.
How do you go from the Rob? Not the. I mean the Adam Sandler to Zach Galifianakis.
Well, there's not the Zach Galifianakis thing is what I had already written down.
Oh, okay.
But Alan Covert is who I just thought of when you were mentioning those clues, and It could be anybody from that little group of Saturday Night Live. Really, hell, it could be Adam Sandler, and that is still a link back to Happy Gilmore. I don't think that's the case. That's a long shot, but for now, I'm sticking with Zach Galifianakis.
So, Rob Schneider's 57 years old.
They're all in their mid-50s.
If he was in his 20s when he did his thing, that would have been his stint on Saturday Night Live, right?
Yeah.
That would have been about that time frame. And Adam Sandler was on Saturday Night Live at that time?
Yep. Yeah. It was...
And I mean, if you're in a huge city, what's the big city? The Big Apple.
New York.
New York. Dude, I'm kind of on the Rob Schneider train. I know that's not where you were going, but that's kind of.
Well, one of the judges did mention Schneider as well.
Rob Schneider, like you mentioned, yeah, they did mention it. You're right. I might be on that train, dude. I might be on that train. I might actually. I'm gonna put Rob Schneider as I'm not gonna lock it in, but
okay. Like
the age, the group, the big city, that whole thing with the Happy Gilmore. I mean, I'm gonna put Rob Schneider down for me.
Keep this in mind. Schneider was not in Happy Gilmore, so if it is him, that link doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's true. I always think of him in anything that he did, though. I always think of him having something in there because he's in everything that he does, just about. So I haven't seen Happy Gilmore in forever, so I don't know. I didn't know if he was in there or not.
I think the first one that he was in was Big Daddy. I think that was the first one they did together. I might be wrong about that.
I actually love that movie. Anyway, put me down for Rob Schneider, just because I have no other guest. So, and your argument though had nothing to do with Rob Schneider. That's the name I locked onto in the conversation, and I just looked him up on IMDb. And looking at the age, the dates, and the time that he was on Saturday Night Live, I'm gonna go with that. Yeah, Rob Schneider's my guess, not locking it in. Moving on.
Okay.
So
Who
yours
was
is Zach
next?
Galifianakis, huh?
Mhm.
Okay. I got you. After that was Skunk, dude, Taraji P. Henson. I'm done.
It's a good guess.
I'm done. Like, there's a lot there, though. I will tell you, I still have three guesses. Taraji P. Henson is now at the top of the list. Fuck you, Ken. Faith Evans is still there. I still think that it's a very strong guess simply because of her gospel background, which is my second guess. And then Queen Latifah is still holding in there. Fuck you, Nicole. And that's with FUQ, just so you know. I'm the reason why I'm like the clue package for this week just says Taraji P. Henson. They handed cookies. She talks about her the boombox, which was her party favor with the gospel music. She talks about why sing for the or turn down for what when you can turn up for the empire. Like, that's just too on the nose, and that's kind of why I know you're shaking your head. Like, it's too on the nose, but those two things together kind of make it seem like, I don't know.
Total red herrings.
I have three guesses. I'm still going with Faith Evans. But Taraji P. Henson is a very close second at this point, with Queen Latifah going third. As long as she stays in the running until I can figure it out, we're good. But if she gets kicked next week, that's gonna suck because I have no definitive answer.
See, you got to remember that they do have red herrings.
Oh,
and
yeah, most definitely.
They are never. These clues are never spot on.
You're right.
So I'm totally throwing Taraji.
There have been a couple people that the clues were dead on, like JoJo last season. That was every last one of her clues were literally scripted right out of her little documentary from YouTube. Every one of them. So like, it does happen. So whenever.
Yeah, but how many people saw that?
Me. Which is why I guessed it right off the bat before she even did anything. So anyway,
I'm sticking with Mary J.
Okay.
And because that was the first thing that came to me when I heard her sing on the first episode.
But you still have no clues. None of the clues there match Mary J. What clue in any of that matches Mary J?
Just her voice.
Okay.
And my hearing.
All right.
That's all I'm going with.
All right. I got you.
You know, there are some people. But
it's not enough. It's not enough for you to lock it in.
All right, fuck it. I'll lock it in.
All right, cool.
There you go. I'm locking it in.
Nice. All right.
Let's see. After that, we had. Does that leave us with the last one?
Nope. That puts us at Baby.
Oh yes, Baby. Okay.
So my notes for Baby, chubby older guy.
Yes.
Road trip with kids in an RV.
Which you can see that he was a chubby old guy as he was walking in, and they were out of the costume.
Yeah.
Remember, I mentioned that in the last video.
Absolutely. He's a comedian for sure. Has a very bad British accent, I put down. His party favors were coolers and a grill. And before I locked on my notes, I sent you a message, and I was like, dude, I know who Baby is. And we're both wrong from our guess from last week.
Now, I'm going to be honest. I saw that pop up on my phone, but I didn't go look at the messages after it.
Yeah.
I thought you had already finished the episode, and it's a good thing I didn't say anything either.
Oh, no. I like when it hit me, I was like, dude, I know who this is. And it was purely by accident. Because they showed the tooth thing and they said Tooth Fairy. And then they were like, The Rock. And I was like, there's no way that's The Rock. So I looked up the Tooth Fairy to see who else was in the Tooth Fairy. And when the Tooth Fairy came up, the Tooth Fairy 2 also came up on the Google list of Tooth Fairy movies. And who was the fucking Tooth Fairy in Tooth Fairy 2? Larry the fucking Cable Guy. And I was like,
also,
what? I didn't even know that movie existed, for one. Like, when did they decide to greenlight that?
that came out in probably the mid 2000s.
Right.
I think I was working at Blockbuster at the time. At least when it came to
I never knew it existed. And then on top of that, not only did they make a sequel to Tooth Fairy, but they also made a sequel to Jingle All the Way. And as soon as I saw that pop up under his IMDb, I was like, oh, this is definitely him. Most 100% definitely him. And then I started laughing because I was like, I bet you any amount of money, as soon as I said this, Corey remembered exactly all these movies. And it was like, you're probably right. And I was like, I'm locking that shit in because there's no way this is not him, because he replaced Arnold Schwarzenegger in a movie. And originally I was looking up people who replaced him because he didn't do the movie, not replace him as in did a sequel and replaced him in the movie, which makes sense. And he did that both with The Rock and with Arnold Schwarzenegger in those two movies. I was like, damn it.
Now, here's the thing. I said in the last episode that it was going to be Steve Howie because he was replacing him in True Lies.
Right.
I totally
The
forgot
replacement
about
thing
Jingle All
was
the Way.
in your, the replacement thing was definitely in your line of thought. You just went in the wrong direction.
I totally forgot about Jingle All the Way. And it matches up with the body type that we saw too. Yep. And I knew as soon as I saw the body type, I was like, this can't be that Steve Howie dude. So I knew I was wrong. And then after all the singing and stuff, and I'm just like, I don't know why. I went to James Corden. I think it's because one of the judges had said it, and
the like slight British accent that he was doing inside of there. I was like, what the hell? That's horrible.
Yeah.
But then like listening to him again after when he started talking, once it clicked in my head who it was, I heard his voice. Like I could hear his cadence, I can hear the way he was talking, even though he was trying to hide his voice, you could hear his voice in there. And I was like, that's definitely him. And I was like, oh, I got to tell Corey before this ends so I have it locked in before the end of the episode.
The funny thing is,
I didn't even know if you had watched it or not yet.
Oh, yeah. The funny thing is, I don't even think that's his voice.
What do you mean? You think
the Larry the Cable Guy voice?
Yeah.
That's a fake voice, too.
Oh, yeah. I think that he does have the Southern drawl. It's just he emphasizes it a lot more when he's doing his thing, like to make it his character. Like I do believe that is a character, but I think that like he's so used to putting that on when he's in front of a camera that it automatically comes out. You know what I mean? So I can definitely see that. But I was really proud that I completely accidentally stumbled onto who this was.
So that gives you one, then, right?
Yes, until I get Bull, and then I'll have two.
We are tied now, 1-1.
Yes.
And finally, we had a newbie for the episode. It was
the wild card, Miss Pepper.
And I don't know anything about this singer.
So there's a lot here, and I have a guilty pleasure, which is watching stupid fucking TikToks. I do it on the regular. I send them to you every once in a while. I think there are some that are hilarious. There are some people in the TikTok like atmosphere that I just don't pay any attention to, and some that I won't because of the not scandals, but just the stuff that they're wrapped up in. And in this one, Pepper, a lot of the references in her clue package are TikTok related. There's a tic-tac-toe board for TikTok. It said something I did went viral, and it was fun watching everybody do their own version of it. And I was like, oh no. As soon as I heard that, I was like, you can't be serious. They're not going to do this. And my first guess was Addison Ray. And Addison Ray is I think she's like the second largest TikTok personality on the platform, followed by my second guess, which is Charli D'Amelio, both of which are like the headline personalities on that platform. But the reason why I say it's probably Addison Ray.
My screen did not freeze. I just have no idea who the hell those people are.
I know. I'm not talking to you at this point. At this point, I'm talking to the people watching. I know your brain is just like smoking. Like I have no fucking idea what you're talking about. Anyway, this girl, and the reason why I know as much I do is because there was an uproar this past year with what's referred to as Black TikTok. And I don't know if you know about this, but basically what happened is there's a bunch of young girls, young black girls in the TikTok world who make up these dances to these songs, and then they do them and they put them out on TikTok. But because they're not the huge personalities like Addison Ray and Charlie D'Amelio, they don't have the following. So then Addison Ray, Charlie D'Amelio go and find these girls' dances, they do them, and then they become these huge viral sensations because those two girls did them, right? The problem is they don't give any credit to the actual creators of the dance. And that created an uproar because at one point, this girl, Addison Ray, ended up on, is it Tonight Show maybe? Who does the
Can you
Tonight
really
Show?
copyright a dance though?
So, well, we've had this conversation with Fortnite and where people were suing because they created a dance and then, you know, someone took it and they try to make money off it. But it has nothing to do with whether or not they created it, because if you do something someone else has done, it's like a tribute and it's acknowledging their art form, right? That's how this would sit. The problem is this girl gave no credit to the person who created it and then acted like it was theirs and took credit for it, or did not deny that they didn't come up with it and got the clout off of it without giving any kind of like kickback to the person who actually created it. Like, hey, go check out this girl's TikTok. She created this dance. I'm just doing it. That would have solved the problem. So then you had what happened.
So what you're saying, hold on, what you're saying is if I do the hammer dance on camera, I should acknowledge that that was the hammer dance for those people that don't know.
Well, people are going to know that's the hammer dance. That's not a thing because Hammer made that dance popular. Everyone knows it's the hammer dance, right? But if you came up with a dance, okay, right now, if I did this, okay, that's a dance. And then you did that. And then didn't say anything, right? But then someone else popular and in the atmosphere. So say Will Smith does that dance, and then he's like, "Yeah, check out this dance I did." And then he's like, "Oh my God, Will Smith just did the most amazing dance ever." But then I'm this little guy down here, like, dude, I came up with that. Like that, I was the first one to do that dance on TikTok. And then that person did it, and now that person gets invited to an NBA playoff game to do that dance. Okay. Gets invited onto national TV on the
NBA
Tonight
is
Show.
hard up for entertainment at this point.
On the national TV on the Tonight Show, and it has all of these dances platformed on there that she, you know, this person represents TikTok in these dances.
Okay.
And then never says, hey, this person who does not have the following that they have, like, and all she would have to say, hey, you know, Vic came up with this dance. You should go check out their YouTube channel. Wink.
So who's your guess?
Anyway, my guess is Addison Ray. One, because she's also doing Netflix movies, and the other one, Charlie D'Amelio, is doing Hulu shows. So that would cover the Pepperwood or Chillywood or whatever was one of the things. So my biggest thing is if that is what this is, and she's talking about this thing went viral and everybody knows who she is now, I'm like, oh, Black TikTok's gonna get mad because Black TikTok quit doing dances on TikTok because of this, and for a period of time there were no new dances on TikTok at all
because nobody was watching my streams.
Yeah,
now
they weren't doing that dance. That's what it was.
No, I took the easy way out and I googled
who is Chili Pepper?
No. I googled TikTok, like most famous TikToks or whatever.
Yeah.
And this person, I recognized their name, so I'm going with this one for the time being, and that's Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish is not one of the top influencers on TikTok. Is that
No. If you look up viral TikToks, she had like the second or third highest viral TikTok.
Okay. I don't know if you've seen all the drama about Billie Eilish and where they've been calling her Booby Eilish and all this craziness.
I heard about it.
Yeah, the whole thing of wearing like big clothes and all of a sudden she decides she doesn't want to do that anymore and everybody's having a hissy fit about it. I don't think she fits the body type. Pepper is super, super petite. And Billie Eilish is a little on the thicker side. So I don't think that the body type fits.
I don't know.
But your guess is your guess. You're going with Billie Eilish. Eyelash. I'm going with Addison Ray as my first guest for this. We'll see what happens because, as we know, Baby got unmasked because we let that slip way early. By the way, I don't think we even noticed that we didn't not do that. But
no, we said. Oh well, we didn't actually say it, but yeah, we kind of made it obvious that it was Baby.
But that's my guess for them. We'll see what next week's clue package comes out with, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be one of those two. But I'm leaning towards Addison Ray.
All right, that is going to end this video. We do want to thank you for watching, and please let us know what you thought. What are your guesses? Let us know down in the comments below. And on behalf of Vic,
that's me.
I'm Corey. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.
See ya.